Hi, Claire.
Hi, Emma.
So we're gonna do a 30-minute full body class today, and we're doing it with dumbbells. So you're gonna need 2 of your lighter dumbbells between 5 to 10 pounds. So Claire, you're using 2 10-pound babies.
Correct.
Okay, we're gonna get started on hands and knees with a warm-up. So get yourself onto hands and knees with your hands below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. And we're gonna go into a little cat-cow. So take a big inhale, drop your belly down to the ground, open up through the chest as much as you can, and then big exhale as you push the ground away from you and round through the spine. Take this nice and slow. We're gonna stay here for a little while. The NFL just released these new helmets for their players called Guardian helmets. They're meant to protect against head injuries, and most players are still refusing to wear them because they look dumb. And this reminded me of when I was a kid, and I really didn't want to wear my winter coat because I thought it looked dumb.
Was there like a ringleader to this? Like, what was for your coat thing? Like, did someone tell you it looked dumb? I feel like that's usually how it starts.
No one told me that it looked dumb. I just, for some reason, decided that I shouldn't be wearing a coat. Like, it was silly to be wearing a full puffer coat. And I didn't want to be seen in it around anyone at school.
Maybe you wanted to show your body.
It definitely was not that. There was no body to be shown. Okay.
You were a newt.
Yeah. Give me one more round through the spine, and then we're gonna go on to part 2 of our warm-up. So come into a neutral spine. So find the position between those 2 points and hold. Your left arm is gonna open out to a T, and we're gonna thread the needle. So thread your left hand underneath, little twist, and then untwist, open back out, and square your shoulders to the ground. Good, and then keep going. So as you twist, you want your hips to stay stacked above your knees. Rotate from the belly button up over to the right.
I had a Vespa when I was 16 because I grew up in Switzerland, and like you could have scooters at 16. And my mom used to like make me wear all this like protective padding. Like this big like jacket and like knee pads and all those things, and obviously that was so embarrassing.
Would you comply?
I would leave with them. Well, I would leave with them, and then I would take them. I would stop halfway, and then stuff them in my bag.
Okay, so you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do, and I particularly understand the helmet thing. It just looks silly.
Okay. Once you're done with this thread, lower the hand down to the ground, and then we're gonna switch sides. So right arm is gonna open out to a T, and we're gonna thread underneath, twist to the left.
Sometimes the risky or unhealthy choices, like that's just like something I'm like, like a risk I'm willing to take, you know?
For aesthetics?
I guess. I mean, yeah, actually, you know what? Yes, it is. And so, and you were like that too, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's very true.
I think that we clearly feel some type of way about it. It's like a visceral reaction.
I will say, though, that the whole NFL thing feels extra silly to me just because these are adults, and like both of those coat and padding decisions that we made, we were children.
This is true. But if I were to have a Vespa today, I wouldn't wear the knee pads.
You wouldn't?
No. I would like to think I'm smart enough to like know how to avoid, I don't know, hopefully major injury.
Yeah, wait, lower your right hand down to the ground. Okay, we're gonna keep
getting
going.
Carried away.
Yeah, take the towel. You're gonna put the light weight behind your right knee. So Claire's gonna use a towel because she's wearing short shorts today. Okay. Short shorts. Okay. So squeeze that weight behind your right knee. You might need to lift your right foot a little bit off of the ground to really give it a squeeze, make sure it's not wobbling. And then I want you to kick your right heel up towards the ceiling as you lift the right knee off of the ground, and then lower that weight back down. and then we're gonna keep going. So little lift, little lower. Okay, so as you lift the leg, I want the lift coming from the right glute rather than arching through the back. Okay, so you should start to feel this in your right glute as well as on the supporting side, preventing you from falling over to the left.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
It's really hard to keep my weight center, so I really have to think about putting like a ton of weight into my right hand so that I'm not overly leaning to the left.
Yeah.
And also, if you're feeling like a pinch in your left hip, move the knee around. Like maybe move it back a bit or move it forward a little bit, although that sounds kind of crazy, but you do you.
Yeah.
But it's okay if it's not just below the hip.
To release the hip flexor.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
textbook version says right below the hip, but I disagree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Whew.
We're gonna do 2 more and then we're adding on our next little layer to make this a bit more challenging. Okay, give me 1 more. Keep squeezing the weight. Lower down. Okay, next time you kick the heel up to the ceiling, your left arm is gonna open out to a T. Okay, and then lower the leg, replace the hand. So I want you to place the hand back down to the ground just for a little bit of a reset, and then we're gonna lift and extend the arm again. So reset by placing the weight or the hand back down to the ground.
And like really refine your center, like when you put everything down, like give yourself a break, like put weight on all 4 points.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm really feeling my core.
yeah, especially once you start adding on the arm to a T, makes it super challenging. Your core really has to engage to keep you stabilized.
I'm actually gonna come onto my right fist. I feel like I'm feeling my right wrist a lot, so FYI.
Yeah. If you need a little bit of relief. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more. Make sure you're not arching through the back, so engage through the core. All right, last one. Hold the arm out to a T, hold the leg lifted and hold. Okay, we're gonna thread that hand underneath. So same thing we were starting with our warm up, but now with a ton of extra challenge, and then unthread. So you wanna try to keep the hips as square to the ground as possible. Keep that squeeze onto the weight. We're just gonna do 8 of these. All right, 6 more.
To come back on flat hand, I feel like I was losing my balance in my fist.
Yeah.
Whew.
Do what you gotta do. Okay, for 4, keep breathing. Twist just belly button up, belly button down, super square and stable. Okay, for 3.
Oh my God.
Nice, keep going. Almost done. For 2. Good, keep pushing out of your right hand. Okay, last one, and then we're just gonna pulse the leg. Open the arm out to a T, or you can drop it down if you need more support, and hold little pulses of the leg up and down. Good.
Oh my
All right,
God.
so the pulse is coming
Shoulders.
from the glute, not from the back. For 5, breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1, lower arm and leg down. Nice
Oh.
job. Okay, remove the weight. Take a little child's pose if you need to. That's
Oh my God, with a 10-pounder, that feels
Yeah.
really good. If you're doing this class again, by the way, and you used a 5-pounder, try something a bit heavy. I feel like it's very satisfying.
Yeah, for the low body especially, you can handle a little bit more. Okay, stretch out through the shoulders, and then we're gonna pop right back up and do that on the other side. Okay, so weight comes back behind your left knee now. Give it a big squeeze. So think magnet of your left heel pulling towards your left glute. You're on both hands, okay? Find your even weight in both hands before you start moving, and then we're gonna kick the left foot up towards the ceiling, and then lower that knee back down to the ground. All right, keep going. So same thing here as on the other side. You want this lift to come from the glute rather than from the back lifting. Or arching. If you feel like the low back is arching to lift the leg up, you don't need to lift your leg up as high as Claire. Nice. Keep squeezing on the dumbbell.
Really hard to keep my weight center.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna do 5 more. Nice and slow and controlled.
This is what a bad one looks like, by the way, what she was saying about the spine. Like, see how I'm like
Yeah.
doing this thing? You don't want that. You want to keep your spine super neutral.
You don't want to be in a cow.
We need to remind people, like, we need to show them the bad versions. I feel like we've gotten really good feedback on that.
Yeah.
Can't forget.
All right. Let's do 2 more. Next time you kick your leg up, right arm is going to open out to a T. And then lower both limbs back down to the ground, find your little reset. And then open back out to a T as you kick the leg back up. All right, so now we have 2 points of support on the ground. I want even weight in your left hand and your right knee as you extend the arm and the leg up. Be very careful not to extend through the back as you lift the limbs. All right, let's do 4 more. Keep breathing.
Oh my God.
For 3, I know this is very challenging. For 3, really nice. Keep pushing out of your left hand.
Whew.
For 2. Okay. Last one, open the arm out to a T, lift the leg and hold. Okay, we're gonna thread the right hand underneath the body, little twist of the upper body to the left, and then open back up, square the shoulders. And then we're gonna keep going.
My
Keep
glutes
squeezing
and
the
my
weight.
shoulder.
I know. Open back up. All right, we're gonna do 5 more pulses and then we're off the left shoulder. And we give the glute a break. Okay.
I'm sweating.
For 4, keep the hips square. You got it. Good. For 3, don't rush. Good. All right, 2 more. Breathe. Okay, last one. Open the arm out to a T and hold little pulses of the leg up and down. So little kicks of the foot up towards the ceiling for 8, 7, from the glute, not the back, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the arm and leg down. Nice job. Take a break. Wide knee child's pose.
Difficult. Very difficult.
This is what you asked for. Okay. Give your shoulders a little break, and then we're gonna come into a proposal position. So you're gonna grab onto one dumbbell. Your left leg is gonna be forward, and you're gonna be on your right knee. So think 90-90 behind both knees, okay? We're gonna start with a bicep curl. So your palm is gonna face forward, and then we're gonna curl, just a basic bicep curl, and then straighten through the elbow as you lower the arm back down. Okay, so as you're doing this, I want you to think the same energy up as down. So you're not letting the weight kind of release on the way down. You're finding resistance in both directions as you curl and uncurl.
I also feel like it's super important to try and get full range of motion. So try to like tap your thumb to your shoulder, but careful, same thing as a spine and the bird dog. You don't want to like do any of like this.
Yeah.
Especially as you make the range bigger, like keep your abs super tight.
Yeah. Think of this as full body. So even though it is a bicep curl, you are engaging the rest of the body to prevent everything else from wiggling as you bicep curl. All right, we're gonna do 2 more. Okay. Last one. Okay, and then we're gonna go into a hammer curl. So you're gonna uncurl, and then your palm is gonna face now inwards towards your thigh. Okay, and then we're gonna go into a hammer curl to shoulder press. So curl up, so bicep curl, and then press that arm up towards the ceiling. Okay, pull it back down slowly. So with control, pull it back in, and then unbend the elbow, slowly lower back down. Nice job. All right.
So my palm is flipping away from me as I'm extending the arm up.
Exactly.
Which is like where I really want to lean back. Maybe even put like your hand on your belly to try and like really engage your abs, stay super stable.
Yeah.
The mid body.
Yeah, with any proposal position arm work, I find either placing my hand on the low belly or even opening the hand out to a T and really squeezing my fist helps me focus on engaging through the core. So find something that works for you to remind you that the core should be working.
Yeah. Also, last thing for this, I find, like, really think about it as like a 4-part thing instead of like a fluid motion, because that'll actually like help you like stay more stable.
Okay, we're gonna do one more. Keep breathing. Lower the arm, uncurl. Okay, and then you're gonna bring both hands down to the floor, come into a 4-point kneel position. And your left leg is going to extend long behind you. So we're gonna keep working the right arm. So straighten the left leg back behind you, plant the toes, okay?
Is my right hand on the weight?
Yes, your right hand is on the weight, and we're gonna start rowing through your right hand. So you're gonna grab onto the, the weight, row your elbow towards your hip, and then place the weight back down to the ground slowly with control. All right, and then keep going. Row, and then extend. All right, so your hips are squared to the ground. I want you to feel how your mid-back and your lat and your shoulder help you to pull the weight upwards towards the ceiling, and then with control, lower the weight back down.
Oh, I also like, I find that the straighter I keep my left leg, the harder it is for my core. Versus like if I were to bend my left knee a bit, it would be like actually a lot easier.
Yeah. It also kind of depends, I think, like depending on how my body is feeling on any given day, the positioning of the back leg kind of changes where I'm feeling it.
Whew, I'm really feeling my abs today.
Good. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more. And then we're gonna give your right arm a break after some tricep extensions. Okay, last one. Okay, hold the row. So you're gonna row and hold. Good. All right, straighten through the elbow, tricep extension. So kick the weight back behind you and then bend through the elbow. This is really challenging. So if you can't straighten all the way, you don't have to, but you're trying to find full extension if possible.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
All right, we're gonna do 4 more. Keep breathing. Engage the core. For 3, breathe, relax the face. Okay, for 2,
Oh my God.
you got it. Just 1 more. Last one, slowly drop the weight down. Yay!
Oh my God, that with 10 pounds
Yeah, I'm impressed.
is really difficult. Just saying, not to brag.
Okay, we're gonna go into some core work and then we're gonna do all of that arm stuff on the other side. So grab onto one dumbbell again, 2 straight legs in front of you. We're gonna go into some roll downs. So straighten your legs, squeeze them together like you have a magnet between them, and you're gonna hold the dumbbell at chest height. We're gonna go into a full roll down. So tuck through your tailbone, roll 1 vertebrae at a time, peeling down onto the mat. And then once you get all the way down there, you're gonna take the weight and tap it up overhead, keeping the elbows bent, and then pull the weight back in, roll 1 vertebrae at a time back up with control. All right, so you can play around with the legs a little bit. I want them as straight as possible, but if it doesn't feel comfortable to have them fully straight, you can find a little bit of a bend through the back of the knees. And then second very important thing, as you're reaching the arms up overhead, you don't want to release through the core. So that's where you can get into your back once again by arching. So you want to keep engaging through the core as you bring the arms up overhead to make sure you're not getting into your low back.
Isn't it funny how like a lot of this like embarrassment stuff is like linked to like safety?
Yeah.
You know? It's like you don't want to be like a wet noodle.
It just flops like a wet noodle. No way that this skinny, limp butt section, remember a good leader starts in the butt.
So like, I'm not going to wear the helmet, or like I don't actually necessarily think it's always because of the aesthetic. I think it's more that like,
You don't want to be seen as lame.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I think also like, I mean,
Except
I know,
for your example.
well, Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't think being cold is cool.
Okay, come back down. I wonder if there's anything about like the way your prefrontal cortex develops, or just like generally like brain development, and like the fact that you're willing to take more risks about your safety when you're younger. Doesn't explain why adult men are doing it, but all right, one more. Roll all the way up. Okay, and then you're gonna come into a halfway roll and hold. So roll halfway down and you're gonna hold. Okay, lift your right leg off of the ground. You're gonna tap it across the body. So plant your whole foot across the body, plant it on the ground, and then unplant it, straighten the leg, and then we're gonna switch sides. So the challenge here is to keep both butt cheeks super grounded as you lift and cross. You can adjust as you need to. So if you have super open hips, you can, and this feels comfortable, you can tap the foot closer to the hips. If it feels uncomfortable, you can bring the foot further away. But I want as best you can to try to put your whole foot down to the ground.
Really hard to keep my spine rounded, so like my upper body super quiet as I do this, which is ultimately what's gonna help you like feel your core.
Yeah. No wiggles, or minimize the wiggles.
Yeah.
Okay, one more each side. Try to be slow and controlled. Okay, meet me with your right leg crossed over your left and hold. Okay, rotate belly button up over to the right and then come back to center. Okay, so now we're getting extra twisty. So lower half is twisted and now we're twisting over to the right. Good, so just belly button up.
This feels too uncomfortable on my hips, so I'm gonna just like squeeze my legs together. Like they're crossed, but they're long.
Yeah. Do
Like a little
what feels
braid.
comfortable. It shouldn't feel like it's hurting. Okay, let's do 3 more.
Whew.
All right, just 2 more.
Oh my God.
Okay, last one. Come back to center. We're gonna uncross the legs and then bring the left leg over the right. Hold, and then twist over to the left. So just belly button up, twist over to the left, like you're wringing a towel out through the core.
Whew.
All right, let's do 5.
If you have the legs like me, like really like squeezed, like you're holding your pee.
The theme of the week.
Yeah, timely.
For 3.
Oh my God.
Okay. 2. Okay. Last one. Uncross the legs and then roll all the way down to the floor. Oh. Whew. Okay. You can draw your knees into your chest just to give your low back a quick break. Okay. We're going to keep it moving, go into the proposal position on the other side. Okay, so come into a proposal position with your right leg forward. We're gonna start with a curl with the palm facing away from the body. So we're gonna curl up and then uncurl. All right, and then keep going. So full range of motion as you curl and uncurl. Think about engaging through the core to make sure the rest of the body is resisting any sway as we're curling through the arm. All right.
Do you wear a helmet when you ski?
Yes,
Do you
of
ski?
course. Yeah, we've talked about this before. Of
Oh,
course.
yeah, we have,
I will always wear a helmet, no matter what.
I used to not.
When you skied?
Yeah. I grew up skiing, so I'm like, I guess, like a very good skier.
Yeah, but even so, you have to.
I know, but this was classic, like, ski bum move to like go back in the day. You know, like you were so much cooler if you didn't wear a helmet. Like helmets were so dorky. But now I'm like, that's very dumb. Please wear a helmet.
Yeah.
I feel like after like the Schumacher accident, it was, do you even know who that is?
No.
The Formula One guy.
We're gonna go into hammer curls. So uncurl, and then your palm is gonna turn inwards towards the body. We're gonna hammer curl, so bicep curl, and then press up overhead, palm flips away, and then as you draw the elbow back in, your palm flips back inwards, and then uncurl.
I also like find that if I kind of like really think about squeezing my left glute a lot, it also actually really helps me engage through my core.
Because you're pressing your pelvis forward?
Yes. She didn't seem convinced, but it's true.
No, I believe you.
She's like, okay.
All right. We're going to do 3 more. I mean, I guess this is the like the theme also, like even if you're really good at being careful, other people are idiots.
Well, yeah, like the answer is obviously wear a fucking helmet. Like you're dumb, you know? But as a teenager, like I had like such a cool beanie that I wanted to wear only for skiing. Like it was like an oversized, like knitted beanie, and it was only appropriate like for the slopes.
We need a photo.
It was
Okay.
pink and blue.
Last one, lower the arm, and then we're gonna bring both hands down to the ground, come into a 4-point kneel. Okay, the weight is still in your left hand, and then extend the right leg long behind you, plant the toes. So hips are square down to the ground, and then we're gonna row the left arm. So your elbow draws towards your hip, and then lower back down. So as you're rowing, you don't wanna crunch into your trap and shoulder. So you wanna give yourself enough space back behind you. Imagine you're trying to put your hand in your pocket of your pants so that you're not kind of squeezing the shoulders up to the ears. We want mid-back working. Okay.
So much core. This is probably the hardest series for me today. This and like the glute stuff with the weight behind the knee.
Yeah. The row is the hardest part for you?
Yeah, like this whole thing, like with the tricep thing that's coming.
Yeah.
This whole series. I'm
All right,
really feeling my right oblique.
Speaking of, we're gonna hold the row. Hold, we're gonna do a tricep extension. So kick the weight back behind you, straighten the elbow, and then bend the elbow slowly. So as best you can, you don't want the elbow to the shoulder part of the arm moving. So it's just the lower half of the arm that's extending and moving. All right, let's do 4 more.
Oh my God.
Breathe. All right, for 3. Okay. 2 more. Last one, you got it. And lower the arm down to the ground.
Oh my God.
Nice job. Okay. We have a little bit of standing work. So I want you to grab one weight with you, come all the way up to stand, and we're gonna come into a sumo squat. So I want a very wide stance, so feet wider than your hips, and then your feet will be pointed outwards toward the front corners of your mat, and then grab onto both ends of the dumbbell. So dumbbell about chest height.
By the way, like Emma had lighter weights for this. Like if you want this to be harder and you have like 5-pound weights, grab onto both weights like this.
Yeah, good call.
And do this, press them together. But mine are too heavy to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with 1.
Okay. Claire's just wants to make it clear that she's using very heavy weights for this class. Okay.
No, I'm just like, it's gonna be easy for you if you just had to do this with 5 pounds.
You're right. Okay. Come into a squat.
She's rushed.
So lower all the way down. I want you to find a very slight hinge forward. So you're not hinging all the way forward, very slight hinge, and then straighten through the legs. Come back up. All right, keep going. So, okay, yeah, lower down, and then lift back up. So you're not keeping a tall spine. I want your butt going slightly back behind you as you hinge, but not all the way, okay? All right.
I have like we're not doing this, but I have to say this. Like, I have a very strong desire to do a bicep curl because you really warmed up my biceps as I do this. Like, I feel them like wanting to work really hard.
If you want to do a bicep curl, throw in a bicep curl.
Can I?
Sure.
Would you be mad?
No.
All right, so I'm gonna extend the arms as I go down, and then I'm gonna bring them back as I go back up. I don't know why, but I really wanted to do that.
Okay, keep going. Keep curling. Are you satisfied?
Yeah. It was like muscle memory from the proposal thing. Do you ever get that?
Yes. Actually, yes. Okay. We're going to do one more. Okay, and then come into your lowest point of your squat and hold, but this time I want your weight at your chest. So no more curls. Okay, we're gonna hinge even further. So crease further through the hips, send your hips back behind you, and then uncrease so that you're back into a taller spine. So you're going from about this angle to about this angle with the chest. All right.
I really have to like press my knees back to like really keep the external rotation and like stick my butt out, you know, like don't let your knees come inwards. That's gonna like feel really icky. Like keep like kind of like ballet, like flapping butterfly situation, like keep them pressed.
Yeah. And depending on like the arches of your feet and everything, you might want to fall inwards into the arches. So you can also think of almost like evening the weight out by pressing on the outer kind of soles of your feet to feel more external rotation. Okay. Whew. All right. Let's do one more, and then you're gonna hold your deepest hinge. Okay, grab onto the weight with your right hand. So grab the center of the bar with your right hand, and then both arms are gonna reach down towards the floor. Okay, we're gonna row the right arm back behind you, and then lower it back down to the ground. So you might need to adjust your hinge and the width of your feet so that it's comfortable and you have enough space for you to row, but it's a similar kind of row where you're trying to draw your hand towards your hip, or like you're trying to put your hand in your pocket. All right, let's do 3 more.
Try to keep the legs really stable.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing else but the arm is moving. Okay. 2. All right, last one, and then we're gonna add on a rotation. So give me one more row, and then the next time you row, you're gonna rotate belly button up over to the right. So row and rotate. Your left arm is gonna slide a little bit down towards the floor, and then unrow and unrotate. Your hands should be even with one another. Okay, so row, both shoulders open up to the right. So your left shoulder is gonna be a little bit further down to the ground. Slide the hand down as you rotate.
I'm really feeling my glutes and my inner thighs and my quads.
Yeah. Yeah, holding this hinge is quite intense. Okay, let's do 2 more. Okay, last one. Come back to center, and you're gonna pass the weight over to the other hand. Okay, we're gonna start with just the row. So give yourself a break if you need to, but if not, go right over to the other side. Okay, make sure you're still in your deepest hinge. So butt is back behind you, chest is forward. All right, let's do 4.
Also still try to put weight in like the big toe. Don't have all the weight on the sides of your feet as you get tired.
Yeah. All right, for 3.
Dude, my back, like my lats.
Yeah, all this
Like
rowing.
like my mid back, I really feel it.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna add on the rotation. So on the next one, we're gonna row and rotate. So as you rotate, your right arm reaches a little bit down to the ground, and then both hands align with one another as you come back to center. Okay, we're just gonna do 5 more. Come back to center. All right, for 4, twist from the belly button up, lower half is stable. We're done after this. For 3. All right, 2 more. You got it. Keep pressing out with the knees. Okay, last one. Okay, you can straighten through your little legs.
Oh,
Nice job. Okay,
Good
we're gonna
side glute
end
series.
with one last plank, and this was a Claire request. So you can either just come into a regular plank, or if you want the Claire challenge, you're gonna stick the dumbbell between your thighs, so pretty close up to the pelvis. Really squeeze in onto the dumbbell, and then we're gonna come into a full plank. So
it's gonna drop a bit, the weight, as you come into your full plank, by the way. Don't be shocked.
yeah, really squeeze. Okay, so I want your butt in line with your shoulders, okay? And then really engage through the core. I want you to just hold your plank. We're gonna hold it for a little bit longer than 10. So from now, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly lower the knees. And release the weight carefully.
Oh, man.
And you can put it off to the side. All right, let's take a wide knee child's pose to stretch through the
Are
back.
we done?
Yeah, we're all done.
Hell yeah.
Okay, wide knee child's pose, and then we're gonna thread left hand underneath the right. Take a twist. You can relax your shoulder down to the ground. It should feel like a stretch for the shoulder and also a little bit of a release for the mid-back. Okay. I'm very excited for you to see what these helmets look like also. Just coming back full circle.
I'm just like with everything in the news. Can I switch?
Yes, switch sides.
With everything in the news about like how bad these concussions are, like I just like the whole like being scared of being a wet noodle doesn't really apply, you know, because it's like the risks are so clear.
I mean, you would think.
Yeah, but it must be purely an aesthetic thing. I mean, dude, you're like on national television, like you're famous, like.
But if everyone is doing it, if everyone is wearing the helmets, like the NFL forces people to wear helmets in general, why can't they force everyone to wear these silly helmets?
That's actually a great point.
You know?
Yeah, maybe the players would quit or like go on strike.
I doubt it. They're not gonna risk their contracts because they don't want to wear a helmet.
Hey, you should take this up with them.
Okay, good job.
Toodaloo. Thank you, that was great. Loved it.
Bye.